crawled towards us as the sun slowly dwindled away behind the distant hills. Eyes crinkled and mouths opened in laughter as friends and family enjoyed the warm summer evening and that third, or maybe fourth, beer. The reds, whites, and blues bombarded my eyes in blurs of clothing, nails, and food. This holiday must be the #1 seller for food coloring. All around we began to hear the crackling and snapping of fireworks as the real festivities began. My red bow bounces from my head as I sprint to Brooke, who puts my minuscule amount of bows to shame. "Come on, Brooke, we gotta get a good seat," I demanded. "But there's still green beans left," she muttered softly as she distractedly stared at the blue and white bowed kittens on her dress. That girl and her green beans. You'd think they were almond joys or something. Annoyed, I pulled her away from the buffet table and sit her down at the tie-dye blanket set up with our matching puck-painted pillows. We settle in and stare expectantly at the sky for the main event to begin. My dad, in his patriotic Hawaiian shirt he wears every single year, saunters to the front of the crowd in his usual limping gait. Ever since I can remember, my dad has been in charge of this neighborhood fireworks show, and he lives for it. The event is complete with a time-coordinated soundtrack that crescendos at all the right moments. He even creates informational pamphlets about the order of the show and the significance behind every song chosen. My 6-year-old self was about as obsessed with these days as he was. For this 1 hour, he became Superman, creating fire and art in the sky while completely entrancing everyone. At least, I assume they're impressed. I don't really take too much time to notice them. I just see my dad and the sparks and the magic. The first firework explodes in rays of green and purple. Everyone oohs and ahs as the black cats fire off one after another in quick succession. God Bless America plays in the background, to put everyone in the right mindset, as my dad likes to say. Brooke and I's backs are pushed up against one another as we take in the sheer impossibility of these exploding wonders. Our eyes are still trained upward when the first touch of heat licked my leg. I jerked and looked around surprised, which only led to horror. The cool device thingy, or should I say evil, that held the fireworks had tipped and was pointing in our direction. One by one, the magical agents of horrible pain shot towards our blanket. I could sense my dad running towards me in a panic, but Brooke and I knew how to do nothing but scream and clutch our bows. The fire continued to singe our clothes and spark our skin. Finally reaching us, my father scooped us into his arms and shot away. At this moment, I noticed the mass chaos surrounding me. Children screaming and crying as they made wild circles escape, having absolutely no idea where to go. Mothers shooting glaring looks at my dad as they recovered their kids and headed for safety. My dad's heart was pounding in my ear as we continued away from the possessed fire shooter. "Girls," he said, exasperated as he set us down, "I am so sorry. Fireworks really are safe, I promise." I was still willing to believe in my hero, but Brooke glared at him, put on every ounce of sass she could mutter, and said, "Liar, liar, pants on fire." She pointed towards the seat of his pants and ran towards her mom. Horrified, my dad stared as he realized that heat on his backside was not just for pure adrenaline.
Honey, you light up my world, you know that. But I need to tell you something. Ugh, the sun is really bright today. Too bright. Too sure of what it wants to become and where it wants to go, you know? Its path is so easy. Rise in the east, set in the west. No what-ifs, no roadblocks. The only thing it has to focus on is not exploding and killing us all. But I guess we all do that. Spend every day just trying to do what we're supposed to do, what we've decided to do, what we're meant to do, and just try not to explode, leaving a destructive mark on everyone closest to us. But it all happened so quickly. I don't know, Em. I just don't know. I was 26. I started getting tired of the phone calls, the nagging, the stiff arms around my narrow college-fed waist. I needed a change. I needed something, anything that was different from her. And then there she was. Seemingly arriving out of nowhere from Taylor, Michigan, your mom was leaning up against that red bar with the blue moon in her hand, cool smile on her face, and that perfectly permed hair taking up the immediate foot of personal space nearest to her. I wanted to be in that space, and I didn't even know her. But I didn't have to. Or so I thought. Your mom showed up, at the perfect time. She changed my life in a world of tree-hugging, nature preservation, and homecoming queens. She was everything I didn't have before. So 3 months later, I asked her to marry me. Did I love her? Of course. Did she love me? Completely. Did that mean we should be together forever? Sweetheart, sometimes we rush things, and sometimes the decisions that come from that can't be unrushed, and they continue barreling forward on that path like an insurmountable force that we can do nothing but tag along for. Your mother and I were happy, are happy, but she doesn't think I'm funny. She hates how much I fart while I sleep, and she hates the way I have to read everything out loud at museums. But those are all big parts of who I am. I hate how she worries about everything. I hate how she's forgotten to have fun, and I really can't stand it when she makes me feel guilty for every little thing that I do. And I hate the sound of her voice on the phone. But those all make up who she is. So do I hate her? Does she hate me? Why didn't we know these things about each other before we got married, bought a house, shared a credit card, had kids? Did I make a mistake? Think about how 100% different life would be if the sun rose in the west and set in the east. Do you get what I'm trying to say, honey?
Yeah, Dad, I get it. If the sun rose in the west and set in the east, I'd be that mistake you never made. But you know what? Then you have to find something else to light up your world. Hey, you. Remember that first time you lied to your mom? She left to run an errand and you promised her with your big puppy dog eyes that you would read your book and not turn on the television. Those puppy dog eyes with the pure intentions were immediately poisoned by Caroline's influence. First important lesson of childhood: you can never trust a big sister. As the older and wiser girl in the house, if she tells you it's okay to watch TV, then it must be okay, right? You casually brought your book down to the basement. Of course, you can always read during commercials. Mom would never have to know. Never, ever have to know. The bells tolled, signifying the end of Saved by the Bell, and you were warmly snuggled up in that leopard fleece, realizing that big sisters actually did know it all. And then the door opened. In a panic, Caroline jammed the power button and the screen went blank. You hastily opened your book and casually reclined like nothing had been amiss. The steps sounded down the stairs and Mom's head peeked around the corner. "What you up to, girls?" "Just reading, Mom. You weren't gone long." "No, the post office was open, so I cut it short. I'll be outside if you need me." Your heart slowly retreated to its normal rhythm as you turned to your sister, exasperated. Caroline casually shrugged her shoulders and went upstairs to continue her day of pure, unadulterated evil. You had no idea what to do with the weird churning in your stomach. You felt terrible, but you weren't exactly sure why. Hot, salty liquid started to roll down your cheeks. Your heart was so mad at your head. So mad. But your mom wasn't angry, so what was wrong? Then that word crept in and nestled itself between your ears. Guilt. You ran upstairs, scanning frantically to find your mom. When you finally reached her outside in the garden, you became hysterical. The guilt flowed out of you as you apologized for your horrendous behavior. Just so you know, you will never forget the terrible feeling of that first guilt. The all-consuming knowing that you did something wrong and couldn't take it back. You will deal with that a lot in life. So just try to remember how terrible it feels before doing things and try not to fuck up. Because not everyone is as forgiving as Mama was. There are a lot more serious consequences in life than a timeout. Sincerely yours, you. Hey, Mrs. You lied to Mommy today. I hope she still loves you when you get this. I hope she still makes you mashed potatoes every Monday and tucks you in with butterfly kisses every night. I hope she still bakes you cookies on the first day of school every year, and I really hope she still lets you pick the radio station when you get in the car. I hope she hasn't realized how selfish you can be and how easy it is for you to forget all that she's done. I hope she never understands that this lie today will not be your last. I've never felt worse than I did today. My tummy was not happy. I wonder if Mama knew the pain I was feeling, or if she even cared. I don't know if I would care if I were her. What kind of person lies? I mean, that episode of Saved by the Bell wasn't even that good. I really, really, really hope she's still loving you. And you better be loving her. Because if you keep lying to Mom, things are going to get a lot worse than timeouts. And I can't imagine anything worse than Mom thinking she has a terrible little girl. So do me a favor, stop being a liar, liar, pants on fire. No one likes to get their bum burned. Be nice. Love you.
Is the piano practice room available? I ask in the same monotone I use every day. I don't want them noticing me too much, or realizing how much I need them to say yes. ID, please, the peppy student in her glaring yellow polo asks, always reinforcing that they need my ID. Don't they know I'm here every day? I walk up to that desk and, oh, the desk, so smooth now and so old-looking. It has scratches and carvings that go back even before my time here. Whoa, I can barely remember that. It must have been a lifetime ago. Before the entire ID this, ID that. Oh no, sorry, it isn't here right now. It should always be there. Just like I should have been there when he turned 4. Or when he learned to ride without the training wheels. Or when he started to accept other foods besides grilled cheese, goldfish, and bananas, sliced at a diagonal. Didn't you know it felt better on your tongue if it got thinner as it moved back? John knew that. Carl and I would always laugh at those quirks. If only my dad hadn't left. If only I hadn't forgotten how to attach, how to trust. If only I'd learned the danger of lying from that very first time I lied to my mom. Maybe then I wouldn't be here. Maybe I wouldn't be so full of thoughts and scares and loneliness and jumble that I would be able to see straight, to walk forward, to move forward. Laughter pulls me back to the desk. The campus information employee has forgotten me and is laughing with a visiting friend. I clear my throat as I hand her my ID. She glances up at me from the corner of her eye. Every ounce of her is dripping with annoyance. Those ounces should be dripping with ignorance. If she thinks I can't tell, she puts herself above me. Great customer service, my ass. Oh, right. Sorry. Just remember, you need to bring it back in an hour. Her condescending tone rings in my ear. I'm not stupid. I was almost a nurse once. I knew how to put in an IV line, distribute vaccinations, and I was going to specialize in pediatrics. I loved kids. I love kids. I love him. I love his dimples and the way his chubby hands would grab for my nose as if I were a rare bug he had never seen before. Bugs bite and nag and swarm and nag and sometimes never leave, just like they're fighting. It wouldn't get away from me. I swatted the noise, memories, and distrust, but always missed, and they would find their way back inside me. Excuse me? What floor? The boy's question jarred me to attention. I had been staring at the crease in the elevator door, forgetting this was the socially appropriate time to push a button. His eyes roamed over my dirty cargo pants, the outdated utility boots, and the worn flannel, and the hallmark tattered backpack of a wanderer. I've become that person. That homeless woman judged by every college student with their whole lives ahead of them. They have no idea what this life has been like. They think it's cool to bong beers, take shots, and get so hammered I have no idea what happened. They're too naive to hear the incessant buzzing that will never leave if it is ignored long enough. They're too stupid to realize that filling their head with college education and drowning their problems in liquor won't actually make that problem disappear. And then they will be the one checking out that damn piano key because they need a place to sit. They need rest. They need quiet. They need their son. They need their daddy. They just need. And there's no way to get it except through some damn piano key on the 3rd floor of a building that is supposed to be sweating opportunity. But for whom? It sure as hell isn't for me, because it's been a long time since that sun has rose or set on me.